Good morning, welcome to the new video from the Yarn Basket to give you a tutorial how to make these lovely Christmas baubles. You can buy the complete kit from my website or from Etsy, and you have the little lights that you pop in so they'll light up, hang on your tree and just look gorgeous. So within the kit, you will get your yarn, really nice cotton acrylic yarn that lends itself really well to the stitch definition that makes this project kind of look so good when it's finished. So you'll get your yarn, you will get your Christmas bauble with a custom made hole in it so that you can get the light in and out. The lights, little lights like this, and they come with a little plastic insert, so they light up like that, but you can also pop that back in, turn it off to preserve your battery a little bit. So all of this is included. You'll get a pair of snips or a pair of scissors, whichever's available at the time. You will get a yarn needle. You will get your crochet hook included, and you will also get a length of ribbon in a colour of your choice. The yarns are also available in lots of different colours, so you can pick whichever colour you want. And very importantly, whenever we're doing a project that starts with a magic circle, a stitch marker. And that will become apparent why that's so important as we go. So let's get on and make them. Okay, so here we are. The magic circle has now grown and we have 51 stitches. We're at the end of round 8. So it's just starting to curve, so it's going to fit nicely up the sides of our bauble. So now we're going to get on to the pattern. What we're just going to do first is just slip stitch through that first stitch just to kind of make it nice and even. Okay, so we're at the start of row 9, so we want to chain 1, right side facing towards us. For the pattern rows, we're going to do them in rows, so we're going to go round and we're going to turn and we're going to go back, because we have a gap at the back here, and that's where we can get the light in and out. So we've done the chain 1, and we're going to double crochet in each of the first 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. Okay, so now we get on to the start of our repeat. So we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip the next 2 double crochet. So we're not going to go in the next one. We're not going to go in the one after that, but we're going to go in the 3rd one. So skip 2 in the 3rd one. And then we're going to double crochet the next 3. So 1, 2, 3. So you can already see the pattern just beginning here. Okay, so this is just on repeat, so we'll chain 5 again, 3, 4, 5, skip 2, double crochet into the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. Chain 5, skip 2, 1, 2 into the 3rd, and double crochet 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to keep this pattern going until we get to the last 4 double crochet from the previous round. Okay, so now we've come to our last 4 stitches here. We don't need the stitch marker again on this because it's quite obvious where we started. So now we get to the last 4. I'm going to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 2 again. 1, 2. And then we're going to do 2 double crochet in the last 2 stitches here. Okay, so that's the end of the first row around. So now we're going to turn because we're going to go back the other way now. Okay, so moving on to row 10, chain 1. And then 1 double crochet in the first double crochet. So if you remember, we started off with 1 the last time, so we're going in this one here for 1 double crochet. So now what we're going to do is 5 double crochets into the arch that we made with the chains in our previous round. So just through the whole arch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're going to skip 1 double crochet. So we did 3 along here, so we skip that, go into the middle one of our 3 and do a double crochet, and then we're going to skip the 3rd one, so go straight in to do 5 into the arch again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you can see the pattern starting to emerge now. So we skip the first one, double crochet into the second one of the 3 from the previous row even now, and then go back to 5 into the arch. Okay, skip 1, back into that middle one again, double crochet and into the arch again. Just keep going like that until we get to the last double crochet, and I'll meet you back there. Okay, so here we are at the end of all those repeats. Last double crochet into the last one, 1 stitch and turn. So you can see this pattern is building up really quickly. Actually, it's really pretty. Okay, so turn, we go back again on the right side. So row 11, we start off with chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this will count as one double treble, and then 2 chains. So the first 4 count as a double treble, and then 2 chains. Okay, so we skip the first 2 double crochet. So skip that one, and we double crochet into the next 3. So 1, 2, 3. So they're basically the middle 3 of the arch we created in the previous row. Okay, looks complicated, but it's not really once you start getting into it. Okay, so then we chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we skip 3. So the last one of the arch, the middle double crochet, and the first one of the next arch we skip. So we go into the second one into the arch there, and we do 1, 2, 3, chain 5 again, again skip 3, 1, 2, and then the first one of the arch, and we go into the second one of the arch here, and double crochet 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're back to our chain 5 again, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so here we are at the end of the repeats on row 11. We're up to the last 2 double crochet. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to do a double treble into that very last stitch there. So that's wind the yarn around your hook twice into the stitch and pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, oops, yarn over, pull through the last 2. So that then lines up with the 4 chain that we did on the at the very beginning of that row. Okay, and then we're done. On to row 12. So we're going to chain 1 and 1 double crochet in each of the first 2 double crochets. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and then we're going to skip the 3rd double crochet there, and then we are going to double crochet 5 into that space just like we did before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, okay, 5, then we're going to skip 1 and double crochet into the middle one there, just like we did 2 rows ago. Okay, and then chain 5 again. Oh, not chain 5. Okay, so then we're going to skip 1 and double crochet into the middle of those 3, just like we did 2 rows before, and then we're going to double crochet 5 into that arch again. 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 1, back into that middle one again, just like we did before. So the pattern's really starting to grow now. We've got the gap that will be at the back for you to get the light in and out so you can turn it on and off. And we're back to 5 double crochets into the next arch. And into the middle one. Okay, so we carry that on until we get to the last chain 2 space, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so here we are at the end of that row, at the end of the repeats. We're back in the chain 2 space, the chain 2 space being, if you remember, we did a chain 6, but 4 formed the upright to mirror the half double crochet that we did on the other side. So into the chain 2 space, into the arch, we're just going to do 2 double crochet, just like we've been doing with the 5s. And then the last one we're going to do is a double crochet into the 4th stitch, 3rd. So that 4th stitch there, just to finish it off nicely. Of course, it's quite tricky to get you. There you go. Into that last space. And then it's nicely finished off and the sides look symmetrical. And turn. We're going to go on to row 13. So, oops. Start off with a chain 1. Okay. And then double crochet into each of the first 2 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and then we're getting into the pattern again, so we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 3, so 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go in here to double crochet 3, just like we've done before. 1, oops, 2, 3, chain 5 again, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet 3, just the same as we've done before. So whoops, 1, 2, 3, and so on until we get to the last 5 double crochets, and I'll meet you once again. Okay, end of row 13, we are down to the last 5 double crochet here. So I've chained 5 as it says in the pattern, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet into the last 2. So 1, right into that last one there. Oops, missed it completely. Fiddly. There we go. 2. So that is the end of row 13. So now turn, and you need to repeat rows 10, 11 and 12 to conclude the pattern, and then we'll start doing the rounds again and close it off. So I will meet you just as you're closing, what will it be, 13, 14, row 16. Okay, so here we are at the end of round, or row should I say, 16. All looking very pretty, all very good. This yarn is the same yarn as you'll get in the kit, so lovely cotton yarn, and you can see it's really good. It lends itself to the stitch definition that you need when you're making projects like this, so really good. Okay, so now we need our bauble. Just pop the 2 halves together, make sure your little hanging tag is together. Every bauble comes with a custom made hole in so that you can pop the light in and out, so that you can turn it off so it'll last a bit longer. Okay, so I just want to trim off that tail a little bit. Okay, so now we want to pop the bauble in, but make sure that the hole where the light will go in and out is aligned with the space in the back, if you see what I mean. Okay, so we're going to stitch the rest with the bauble in situ, so it's a bit trickier. Don't squeeze it too tight and break it, obviously. Okay, so we're going to go back to doing the rounds now. What I'm going to do first, a bit tricky this bit, is just slip stitch into the other side, just to kind of join those up together. So put my needle through there, my hook even, yarn over, pull through one, pull through the other one. Okay, so only roughly in place. You can always move it around a little bit once you've done it. So we're actually at 61 stitches here. So this first round that we're going to do on the decrease, we want to decrease by quite a lot because we want to pull this in by quite a lot here because it's quite baggy. So we're going to do one decrease and then 3 double chains all the way around. So for a decrease, the way I like to do an invisible decrease is to go into the next stitch but go into the front loop only. You see there, front loop only, and then the next stitch along, it's a bit fiddly, front loop only. So you see I've got both of those front loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull up through those first 2 loops, whoops, and then yarn over and pull through the rest. It's a bit fiddly at the start. There we are. Okay, and then we're going to do 3 just normal double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, when you start off again, you can use your stitch marker if it helps you know where the start and end of your row is. It's reasonably easy to see because it will always be above this, but if you want to be exact, use your stitch marker again. So I'm now going to decrease again in the front loop, in the front loop, pull up a loop through those 2, yarn over and pull through them both, then 3 double crochets. Kind of get into a rhythm eventually. Decrease again, front loop, pull a loop through those 2, start that again. So front loop there, pull a loop through those 2, that's it, yarn over and through those 2. Okay, so carry on until you get to the end, and I'll meet you back up, end of the first round. Okay, so end of row 17, and it's starting to fit a little bit better. So you just need to continue the decreases as per the pattern, right up to row 22, where you'll just be left with 8 stitches and you'll fasten off. So I will meet you back there when we're finished at the top. Okay, hope you're getting on all right. Just joining you back with the last decrease. So, oops, in the front loop, yarn over, pull through those 2, yarn over, pull through everything that's left on the hook, and there we are. So cut the yarn, pull it through, so you can fidget around so you've got your little hole for your light in the right place. Now I'm just going to thread, whoops, thread my yarn needle, and I'm just going to go round so that I can pull this up really nice and tight around the little hook. Too tight, I still want it poking out. Lovely. I'll just push that little tail round to the back. Chop it off and lose it. There. So now we have our completed bauble. The little lights that come with the kit look like this. Little light on the top. To preserve the battery, they've got this little piece in them. So all you need to do is pull that out and it'll light up. And to save the little battery in there, so it doesn't go flat, there's two little batteries in there actually, just pop it back in when you're not using it, just so it lasts a little bit longer. Okay, so I am going to tie on my ribbon to hang it, and I'll just come back to you with the finished product.